to the third episode of the Grilling to Get Away podcast. In this episode, Ben and I really talk about some of our prior week grilling sessions. We talk about our how we go about prepping and maybe defrosting some of the cooks that we have coming up. And then we get into what we're going to be doing in the coming weeks as far as what we're going to be throwing on the grill and the smoker. So give it a listen. We appreciate it. If you've been enjoying the podcast, please go ahead and give us a review and share it with your friends and your buddies and the people that you know in your life that might grill or barbecue or that might want to get started doing that, because we're all about helping those who are just getting started as well. So we hope to share tips and ideas and thoughts for those that continue to want to grow and learn, but then also those that might be just starting on their grilling journeys. And we've been getting some great questions, so thanks to everybody that's been reaching out. Being very new, we're just trying to get used to the podcast setup and how things go and the platforms we use. But we definitely in the future have ideas and thoughts about including some of the people who follow us on our social media sites and pages, and then incorporating like question and answer and maybe even some guests in the future. So keep those suggestions and feedback coming. As always, you can reach us on our social pages, Burn Pit BBQ on Facebook, Burn Pit BBQ Guys on Instagram, and then also Burn Pit BBQ on TikTok. And then you can go out to our website, burnpitbbq.com, and you can send us emails from there as well. So we appreciate you listening and enjoy episode 3 of the Grilling to Get Away podcast. Oftentimes, life is demanding, stressful, and just won't stop. When needing to take a break, we like to light up the charcoal and crack open a cold one. The Grilling to Get Away podcast is an ongoing conversation about all things barbecue and grilling, from our backyard to yours. So if you sometimes don't know what the heck you're doing, if you like to learn, and if you don't take yourself too seriously, you're in the right spot. All right, okay, we're recording, buddy. I got the red light on today. We got some Pabst Blue Ribbon here. Ready? Not Bush.
What a good sound, huh?
Oh, yeah. It's good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you. Thanks for letting me come back again.
Yeah, you know where I live, so I can't stop you.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, so episode 3 of the Grilling to Get Away podcast. I am Greg, and this is my colleague,
Ben.
It's good to see you, man. It's been since the last time we talked, a week, or actually, no, you're over on the weekend, weren't you?
Yeah, weekend.
Nice, we did. Yeah. I was trying to block that from my mind, I guess.
Yes, well, we dabble a little too much in the Paps, I guess.
Yeah.
Did that happen again?
Yeah. No, I didn't.
No. Tower of Freedom.
Tower of Freedom.
Lives on.
That's a story for another day.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, so what have you been up to? I know last time we talked, you were talking about maybe doing a ham or something like that. Did you do it?
I went a different way. Stuck with the pork, but I did a pork tenderloin. Pulled it out of the freezer. I went to dig into the freezer to pull the ham out, and it's like right there on top. I was like, oh, easy access. So
sure.
I pulled it out. I haven't done one in a while and stuff. So, I pulled it out on early Monday morning. It was the holiday. We didn't have to work, so I pulled it out, let it unthaw, and then and got it. I marinated it overnight and cooked it later on Tuesday when it was nice and 35, 40 degrees.
Yeah. So you took it out, you prepped it, and then the next day, did you smoke it, grill it? What'd you do?
Yeah, smoked it. I did it on the grill, but like on indirect heat.
Sure.
Kept it away. Had like I said, it was the pork. So I took a page out of your book and kind of looked around the house to see what I had for the marinade.
Okay.
So worked with what you got. I think that's a theme that we have. But yeah, so did that. Let it kind of set overnight. Monday night and into Tuesday, and grilled it for about hour and a half, 2 hours in direct heat, and then kind of popped it over just for kind of let it charbroil up a little bit.
Yeah, get a little crispy on the outside.
Yeah.
That's the way to go.
It is. Yeah.
So how did it go? Like, how did it turn out? So scale 1 to 10, 10 being like this is your best cook ever, 1 being like you'll just forget about it. Where would you put this one?
I'd put it about probably 7.5.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I was really happy. The kids loved it. That's always a plus, right? When the family eats it.
Yeah.
So it had 2 tenderloins in it. You know, it's one of those packages that you can get, and it's got the 2. So
Sure.
I threw them both in the marinade, but I used classic Fire for Effect sweet heat rub only on one of them. So but I did put that in the marinade.
Yeah, always good on pork.
Always, yeah, kind of a go-to. And that one, I wanted to really see like how the marinade worked and let it kind of break down the meat and compare the two without kind of a rub. You know, just doing the marinade. Like I said, I marinated both of them, but then did a rub on one.
Okay.
So definitely the rub one was better of the two.
Okay. Family liked it. You liked it. You're happy with it.
Very happy. Yeah.
Anything you would do differently next time?
Yeah, I did rub the other one down.
Oh yeah. Okay. Right.
Big fan of the rubs.
Yeah. Always rub your meat. That's what I say. Words to live by. No, that's good. Glad it turned out well for you.
Yeah. So tell me about you. I know you were kind of going to test some appetizers.
Yeah, I was experimenting a little bit over the week and the weekend. One thing I've been seeing, you know, people use like spicier rubs, put it in like pickles. Like, so I got some of these, like a jar of these sliced spear, like dill pickles or whatever, just from the local grocery store. And I used some of our spicy fire in the hole seasoning.
Nice.
So I dumped 2 tablespoons of our stuff in there, shook it up, and then I put it in the refrigerator for actually 2 days. I let it sit for 2 days, and then I tried it. It was nice crunch, nice heat. You know, nothing that overwhelmed you, but it just had a nice subtle heat to it. That would be awesome in like Bloody Marys if you're doing like Bloodies.
You love those Bloodies.
I've been known to have a few every now and again, but no, those would be perfect kind of complement to like a Bloody, or you can just snack on them. You know.
Sure. Did you keep having to open the fridge and like shake it up every once in a while?
So it did. You know, I would check on it as a good producer of food just to make sure it was going all right. But yeah, some of the seasoning would sit at the bottom, so I'd shake it up a little bit.
Okay.
But overall, I mean, it really, kind of enhanced the flavor of the pickle with the seasonings and the spices and stuff. So it was really good. I enjoyed it. I'd probably do it again. Nice, simple way to spice up those pickles. And then the other one, and this one, I did some smoked sausage cranberry bites. And I wrote this recipe up, and I put it on the website. But it really is super simple. I'm looking, it's really cold out here now, even though it was like 40, the other day. Now it's like -10. That I'm looking for something like real simple to do and really kind of not be outside too much. So when I'm doing my apps, I'm looking for something simple I can do. So the smoked sausage bites, really what you're doing is you're buying pre-cooked sausage already, and you're smoking it a little bit. So you're slicing it up in like 1/4-inch round pieces, smoking it. I put some of our all-purpose barbecue seasoning on it, and then I put some chunks of white cheddar cheese on top, and then I scooped a spoonful of cranberry sauce on top of that. So,
did you make the cranberry sauce?
I did not. Okay. So we tried. Like, I was trying to keep this real simple, so we went to the grocery store to find some. But cranberry sauce is, I guess, all the rage right now because it's out everywhere we went to. So my wife just bought some frozen cranberries and then made the sauce. So.
It sounds like homemade then.
Yeah, it was, she did a fantastic job. She knew this was important to me, and she came through. She's like, I'm going to make it. I was like, all right.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So,
lucky dog.
Yeah. This is a team effort.
Sure.
So I smoked it on my Weber indirect grill, and just probably similar to what you're doing with your pork tenderloin. And, really that doesn't take much. It doesn't take long because the sausage is already pre-cooked up. So we're really just heating it up and then melting the cheese a little bit.
What'd you get the temp to?
So I put them on there at about 325.
Oh, man,
so
okay.
It was a nice, like, even heat. So I had to watch it a little bit. So I, left it on only like maybe 5 minutes. And then checked them out. And then maybe a couple more minutes after that. But yeah, it was real simple, real easy to do. I put that recipe out on the website. You can go check it out if you want. But yeah, I'm really trying to explore the apps outside of my comfort zone. Cranberry, white cheddar, that kind of stuff was
right up your alley.
New ingredients that I've never used kind of together before, but it had a nice, smoky, savory flavor from the sausage. The cheese had a little bit of tanginess to it, and then the cranberries added a nice sweetness to it.
Nice. Did you use any kind of wood chips or anything like to smoke it, or just did you just use bricks?
So I used charcoal briskets, Kingsford, but then I had some cherry wood left over, nice. So I used that. So again, it added a little bit more, fruity flavor to it. So I enjoyed it. I liked it, and probably one I'll do again. Real super simple if I'm having a party or something that I can do it.
All right, looking forward to that for the boy's birthday.
Well, we'll see.
What would you rate that?
I'd probably, I'd give it a solid 7.
Okay.
It's a do again, but
passing in high
school. That's probably you're probably top 10% in high school nowadays with that. I'd probably do it again, but I'd probably change a few things like everything. It was good.
Yeah, good. Well, I think that kind of leads us into our conversation that we wanted to discuss today. Kind of really diving into prep. So getting ready for the cook, right? Kind of how you go about it. When to pull the meat out if you're not buying it. You're not cooking it fresh if you got to pull it out of the freezer, stuff like that. And, like I said, I made the marinade out of stuff I had at the house. If I'd maybe prepped a little bit better, I could have, used something different or, But again, I think that's why we do this, right? Learn from our mistakes.
Yeah. And during the week it's hard too, right? Yeah. So, a lot of stuff, we have meat in the freezer, we'll think of, okay, what are we going to do for dinner?
Yep.
Okay, what do I got in the house?
what do we got? What do I got
what's
to
in
work
the freezer? What's in the cabinet?
Yeah.
So it's, if you're doing a big cook and you're looking to impress some people, sure, a lot of prep time, but for us, hey, we're going to throw some things together last minute. Let's see how it turns out. So what, so you said you pulled the ham out or the tenderloins out of the freezer a few days in advance, or was that like same day?
It was Monday morning, and I cooked it on Tuesday. So I mean, there are times where, if we're doing burgers, kind of quick hits. If we got the meat in the freezer and stuff, then that's gonna be same day. My go-to honestly for that, is fill up the sink with kind of cooler water.
Sure.
And pop the meat in there, and it usually kind of defrosts pretty quickly. Obviously, those are, not big pieces of meat.
Right.
But you tend to do bigger pieces of meat quite often. What's your go-to for when you choose to take it out of the freezer?
Yeah. Oftentimes I'll just come down to the freezer and gaze and see what's in there.
God, isn't that great? Just take the inventory.
Take inventory, and then I'm like, I this is a piece of meat that I'd like to use this week. And then if it's a bigger piece of meat, like, we split that cow.
Right, yeah.
And we have a bunch of beef, big beef pieces.
Pot roast.
Mm-hmm. Soup meat.
Yeah.
So I'll take a look at it and see if it's something like I want to do that week. I'll probably take it out a few days in advance and put it in the fridge, so it can defrost that way. But along the same lines, if I'm doing like hamburgers, if I'm doing tacos, even if I'm doing a steak, those are some things I could probably take out same day. Now, if I'm really getting into it and I want to marinate the steak quite a bit overnight or something like that, I might plan in advance and take it out a few days ahead so it defrosts. And then I have another day to marinate it. Before I throw it on the grill. But with the larger pieces of meats, I had Thanksgiving at my house here, and I picked up the turkey. It's a farm fresh turkey from one of the butcher shops nearby, and it was semi-frozen, but I picked it up, I think, 2 days in advance. So that was one where I had to get my cooler out.
Yep.
And put some water in it, let it defrost in there for a day.
Sure.
And then simultaneously I'm making the brine, and then I'm putting it in another cooler to brine overnight, so I can smoke it the next day.
So do you typically make the brine like a day before you're going to put it, put the meat in the brine?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you do it kind of day of, get it all together and stuff, and then kind of
if I'm brining, turkey, chicken, poultry, something like that, I'll do it the day before.
Okay.
So I'll mix it up, cook it, boil it, and then let those flavors meld a little bit, And so that might make it, half a day.
Sure. Let everyone get to know each other. Huh?
Yeah. Let them all mix and mingle. See how it's gonna match up.
Nice, man. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's great. I haven't done a ton of brines necessarily, but more like the marinade side. And obviously for what I like to do too is typically overnight. I feel like is long enough.
Sure.
It's gonna give it plenty of time, especially like those big cuts. Like typically like 6 to 12 hours is probably about average for those, and then kind of break it down from there. So, if I'm just doing chicken breast, I mean that I might honestly I'll just maybe do 2 hours ahead of time. But no, that's kind of my go-to. And then anything under that, maybe an hour and stuff like, pork chops and stuff. I don't marinate my steaks very often.
Right.
But, I'd say 2 hours for kind of pieces of meat like that size.
Yeah. I've really liked doing, marinating my pork chops recently. And those I'll leave overnight. But yeah, same with like steak or something like that. If I'm just throwing it on the grill, usually I'm just putting some olive oil on it, then salt, pepper, garlic, something like that.
Yeah.
But like for ribs, so with ribs, if you got, assuming that it's defrosted already, there's a lot of, camps that say, give as much time as you can to let those flavors kind of infiltrate the meat.
Break it down.
Yeah. So, if you do a nice rub, put a binder down, like whatever it is, whether that's olive oil or yellow mustard or whatever you choose, and then you put your rub on and you wrap it in cellophane.
Sure.
And then you put it in the fridge at least 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours, overnight if you can, and then next day throw them on the smoker.
Yeah. I think that another good point too is that kind of from what I've been reading. Not to do it in like those tin pans or like metal pans because you can pick up like a metal flavor in your meat. Just kind of glass or plastic like Tupperware, like kind of what's your kind of go-to for that?
Well, I mean, if I'm wrapping it,
doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but like I'm more for like the marinade and stuff. Like
I use plastic bags.
Yeah.
If it's
nice.
if I have those big plastic bags, I'll put it in there. I know a lot of people have like those Super Saver, the vacuum seal that they use to do that.
We're not there yet.
I haven't invested in one yet, but I know a lot of people use them and they like them a lot. Especially if you're storing. So if you have leftovers, storing that meat afterwards, it can be real good to keep it in the freezer for a long time. But yeah, otherwise I'll just use like a big, large plastic bag, throw it in there.
Easy cleanup after.
Yeah, try and get all the air out of there, and then let it sit. For however long you need to let it sit.
Nice. Okay. So do you typically add your rubs right then, like when you're gonna kind of marinate it overnight, or will you? I guess obviously depends on kind of the meat and stuff.
Yeah. It depends on the meat cut. Like I said, ribs. Yeah, I'll put it on right away, wrap it up, put it in the fridge. 4 to 6 hours overnight if I can. If I plan that far in advance, if I just find like a deal when I go to the grocery store and like, hey, we're doing these ribs tonight.
Here we go.
I'm not gonna get that much time, but.
Sure.
And then maybe I'll put a little bit more on right before I put it on the smoker, just to add a little bit more flavor to it.
Okay.
But yeah, just I try and do as long in advance as I can when I'm doing like ribs or something like that.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing just a quick grill session with steak or chicken, maybe I'll put it on 20 minutes before.
Okay.
Let it sit a little bit. But it's I'm not really planning that far in advance for it.
More so seasoning than kind of a rub.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice, man. What So kind of leading into that, I mean, you obviously use different rubs for your different types of meat?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What about injecting?
I do dabble in the injection side of things a little bit.
Yeah. On the bigger cuts, like your turkey that you did.
Like the turkey I injected.
Yeah. Okay.
A simple, real simple kind of just water, some salt, and then some, rub and all that kind of stuff. I didn't get too, and some whiskey.
For you or for the turkey?
Yeah, one shot for the turkey, one shot for the
1 and 1. Huh?
Yeah,
that's the ratio.
Yeah, no, but just a little mixture there, and then a little bit of the brine still. You could take a little bit of that, but they had they had pre-made brines that you can pick up from the store.
Okay.
I just try and keep it real simple.
Yeah.
But yeah, the turkey I did, it turned out real nice and juicy. I know there's some people that inject other pieces of meat, but honestly, it's been a long time since I've done other than a turkey.
Yeah.
So how about you? Do you inject a lot?
Not a lot either. I honestly, I mean, I did the turkey at Christmas, and I did inject that, like kind of those, in the past I've never really injected, and let me tell you, like I noticed a huge difference in kind of the juiciness of the meat and stuff.
Yeah.
And the flavor in there, because it's like you can coat the outside all you want and stuff, but then you're not getting it down in there.
Sure.
And so that's where I really kind of noticed that difference.
Okay.
So
I did over the summer. We had our barbecue competition.
Yeah.
And we were doing tri-tip and then ribs. So the tri-tip I actually injected with a nice kind of broth and rub and mixture. So I did inject that one, and that turned out real super juicy too. So yeah, some people live by injections, some people don't.
Sure.
It's just kind of personal preference.
Yeah, no, I don't think you can go wrong with it. I think it's kind of one of those things where I'd recommend trying it.
Sure.
To some people it's a game changer. It's, but you can also overdo it too and kind of give your meat kind of a weird texture on the inside if you do too much. So it's again kind of live and learn.
Yeah. So like on the prep side, so we're talking prep today. We talked about seasoning. How far in advance do you take your meat out? How do you season it? What kind of tools do you have that you like to use when you're prepping like any types of meats or cooks?
Yeah. So one of the best things I've ever gotten, I think, was from my grandma.
Okay.
And it was one of those.
Man, grandma's killing it. Didn't she give you the money for the grill? And now
she did.
Yeah.
She did. It was so she gave me one of those kind of big square Tupperware pieces that you close. It had the lid on it. And I use it a ton just for chicken. If I'm doing like wings and stuff, man.
So this is a plastic bucket that.
Yep.
Is it like a collapsible one that can go up and down, or is it like just
like a big rectangle,
okay.
And it's got it's about the same 2 inches on the bottom, 2-inch lid, so you got plenty of room.
Yeah.
So
is it just for meat or is this multi-purpose?
Was
it made just for meat? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I know it was
That's
my
fair.
grandpa's and stuff. She had it. And she's like, "Hey, do you want this?"
Oh, this is okay.
So
you didn't it wasn't
no,
it wasn't
no,
bought.
it was
passed down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just kind of. She didn't have a need for it anymore and stuff, and was like, "Hey, what do you think?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely.
That's fantastic.
Love it. Yeah,
keep it in the family.
Yeah. Got came with 2 different sizes, so had the real big one, which I use all the time.
Okay.
I love it. And actually, just I want to say about 2-3 years ago, my wife got me another one.
Okay.
So, I use that all the time.
Yeah.
And I'll put the meat in there. So that's like. That helps. That helps me so much.
Yeah.
Because it has these kind of curved lines in there. So I just shake the meat around, so it kind of tenderizes it in a way. So and kind of like you use the bag, you can kind of flip it or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what I'll do. If I'm doing wings and I want them to marinate for 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
I'll let them sit on one side for an hour and then flip it.
Okay.
Then walk away and come back in another hour. Flip it, shake it, and then leave it. So
yeah, no, I think that they have come out with tubs like that are like collapsible. They can like different.
Collapsible.
Yeah. Technology is fantastic. That you can adjust like that, and that's primarily used for when you're prepping your meat and stuff like that. So that's great. That's keep it in the family. Maybe one day you'll pass that on to your kids.
Yeah. If it's still around, I hope so. But yeah, I'd say that's a big one that I use. Obviously, a good cutting board, good knife.
Okay.
Those are key things when I'm kind of getting ready. And actually this year for Christmas, my wife just got me a tenderizer. So
nice.
I've used it a couple of times now, and man, it definitely kind of makes a difference.
What have you used it on?
Well, I just used it the other day when I did the tenderloin.
Yeah.
So just kind of allow just get the juices in there, and like I said, break it down and continue to just make it even more tender.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, not a necessity. You can obviously just use a fork, but I've used that, pork chops and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, man. What about you? What's if you had to pick, what a tool that you can't live without when you're prepping?
Yeah. For me, it's big, large baking sheets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I love doing ribs.
You love those. You love the baking sheets and stuff too, yeah.
And it's just so nice to have a big baking sheet that I can, put a couple racks on. And that's really where I do a lot of prep work too.
Yeah.
So I have multiple, of those. So I think we have three or four of those big baking sheets.
Yeah.
So I'll have multiple ones out, and as I'm prepping stuff and moving stuff around. So those are big for me. A good knife, like you mentioned, is always helpful to be able to.
Yeah. Next year when we do the pig, we'll have to get a better one.
The pig is a different story. Definitely, we'll talk about the pig some other time. We'll go through kind of the debrief for there, but also, having a good pair of gloves if you need it. Mm-hmm. If you're prepping for people, I always like to try and be sanitary. And then also, paper towels, man. I'll make a mess.
Right. Yeah,
I make a mess when I'm rubbing my meat. And
I've seen it before.
I'll cut that out. No, I won't. But I make a mess. When I'm rubbing it. When I'm seasoning, I'm putting the seasoning all over it. And if you're doing ribs, if you're taking the membrane off the back. A good paper towel, grab that, pull it right off. So those are like the big things aside from, what we already talked about that, I really, it's awesome to have when you're prepping.
Yeah, I agree. And Greg, I think we kind of, if we take that a big step back here, we missed one of the most important parts when prepping is, and I've run into this problem before. I don't know if you ever have or not, but, definitely before you start to cook, light the grill, get things going, make sure you have enough charcoal, gas, pellets. I'd say that's probably number one on the list,
sure.
Right, man?
Yeah. I can honestly say I've never run into that problem.
You're just better than me, aren't
you? Chalk that one up from 1-0, Greg.
Yeah.
No, honestly, that's a huge deciding factor for me to grill or not.
Right.
Do I have charcoal? Do I have enough to cook what I want to cook?
Yeah.
If not, do I have enough to get me to a temp where I can then maybe put it in the oven?
Yep.
Because I still want that smoky flavor, but I'm not going to go buy charcoal because it's $10 a bag right now. But honestly, I don't think I've ever run out. So tell me about that. What happened? What was a cook? You obviously remember the cook.
Yeah, I was doing a ham, and and I had enough to kind of get it going, right? But I thought I had a secondary bag, because I'd gotten one of those, the 2-packs.
The 2-packs.
Well, apparently I'd already used the first pack.
And, too many PBRs, huh?
Yeah, you were probably around or something. Maybe you probably took it out of the garage.
You don't put that on me, man.
No, but I was doing a ham, and I was going to go add more, and I had it on there for a while. I was like, all right, it's going well. Got it where I want it. I'm going to have to throw some more bricks on here soon and stuff. I was like, search around the garage. Like, oh, no. Oh, no. Just a sheer panic, But luckily, there's a store just down the road. I just ran real quick and just got literally one of those small.
Okay.
Just this quick bag just to get me through them.
Got you through it?
It was at the gas station, so I probably paid $10 to $15 for it. But it was worth it. The ham came out great. At that time, beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah.
So
having enough fuel is always key to a good cook.
Yeah, so I'd say that's probably number one on the prep list, right?
Yeah.
Before you get too far in.
Fuel, meat,
yep.
utensils.
Yeah, you can always kind of put together any kind of rub, any kind of marinade. Doesn't always mean it's going to turn out as good as you'd like, but it's a starting point, right?
Okay. Yeah, so we talked about prep things that we want, we use. Is there anything that you wish you had?
Man, yeah, I mean, I think I have a really big cutting board now, but that's what my go-to. Like you talk about, your pans and stuff like that. I think that's a big cutting board, and bless my wife, man. She got it for me again probably a year ago, and that's it changes things. It's like, oh my god, how did I ever do this without this? But anything really that you can kind of use to kind of carry the meat back and forth, right? Like,
sure.
In my mind, whether it's the cutting board, whether it's the pans, You know, something big that can hold, you know, what you want to cook it on, you know, for the prep and stuff, I think it makes the world of difference.
Yeah, and for me, you know, if I can't have a bigger kitchen or an outdoor cooking space, you know, I got to look into those plastic tubs.
Yeah.
And then also, let's see. Yeah, I'd say the tub, you know, one of those tubs, I would probably want to get one of those soon.
Like a 5-gallon tub? Is that?
No, like the ones that you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I'm intrigued by that.
Yeah.
And then also, you know, maybe it's time for a vacuum sealer that
could be.
can use to marinate a few days in advance.
Yeah.
You know?
That's something we're going to have to look into. If anybody has any recommendations on
shoot 'em our way.
Yeah, please let us know.
Okay. Well, I think that's a pretty good, you know, stopping point. But we'll end. Tell me what kind of cooks. What do you think about coming up?
Man, so honestly, I've been looking at a few recipes and stuff, Greg. I'm still kind of set on the ham. A nice like piece of like picnic meat that I'd like to pull out and try.
It's just that ham is eating away at you.
It sure is. But again, like, kind of with the Super Bowl coming up, I do want to get ready for that. But I haven't decided quite yet. You know, there's a few things that have been on my mind a lot lately. I'm really thinking about burgers, like just diving into a burger.
Like anything like grilled or smoked?
Man, just grilled.
Okay.
Just over the coals and just
a little charred up.
Dive into it. Yeah. So maybe like a stuffed burger, maybe a smash burger.
Oh, okay.
I haven't done a smash burger in a long time.
Yeah. It's hard during the winter here.
It is. Yeah, you're right. So maybe I won't do that.
I'm just kidding.
No,
I want to see.
No. Well, yeah, we'll give it a try. Maybe that'll be my kind of. We'll see how that goes. But so I've been reading. I read this one recipe about like a smoked like chocolate cake. And so I'm kind of thinking like maybe giving that a go. I'm not sure if I'll do that before the next podcast or not, but definitely when I do, I'll let you know.
Yeah. Full debrief.
Yeah, the cast iron skillet's out in the camper, so I have to pop it up a bit and get out there. So
yeah, we could definitely do a whole show on smoked desserts.
Oh yeah,
because I got a few that I really enjoy and wouldn't mind sharing. Anything else? What else is? I mean, you're thinking about meats all the time. It sounds like. What's going on?
Meats just always running through my brain, Greg. You know this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. Like I said, maybe the stuffed burger, like some stuffed chicken, something maybe wrapped in bacon. I don't.
You can't go wrong with bacon.
Makes everything better, doesn't it? Yeah. So like I said, I've been thinking a lot about it lately. But I got a few ideas I'm tossing around in my head right now. What about you? You seem kind of regimented, like you know what you want, huh?
You know, I'm sticking on the appetizer theme as we continue to move into this playoff run leading up to the Super Bowl. So, you know, I like to share like the recipes I try out. So, again, I've been seeing a lot of people doing the smoked cream cheese, you know, where they basically take a chunk of cream cheese and then they season it with their favorite seasoning. I'm probably going to use our sweet heat seasoning, and then I'll probably smoke it for a little bit.
You're just going to do one brick of cream cheese?
One brick, you know. Okay. Yeah, that's plenty. That's plenty for our family. And then you know, it's been a while since I did wings. It's been a while since I did ribs. So I'm thinking, you know, I got to get some meat in there too. So yeah, I'll take a look through my my books and just go back in the old brain dial and see what pops up, but. Also check my freezer, see what I got in there.
Take the stock. Yeah. Check the inventory.
Always helps. Well, that's what I'm thinking about.
It's gonna be a good week.
Yeah.
Good week. A lot of football and stuff.
A lot of football. A lot of meat. A lot of food. A lot of drinks. So it should be good. And we'll definitely bring those updates back the next time we chat.
Yeah. Well, good talking to you.
Yeah, it's good seeing you too, man. I appreciate anything. Any last parting words for the people listening here?
Yeah. You know, it's not always about the grilling, right? Sometimes grilling to get away, you can use prep as like a little escape as well too. Yeah. And it all counts. So take advantage of every minute you can.
Yeah.
That's my advice. Huh?
That's where it starts. Yep. That's where the getaway starts, right?
And sometimes that can be the most important part of the cook, Greg.
Yeah.
You know, so
it's like taking a vacation. You know, the planning is the most important piece.
Yep. So yeah, if you don't pack the sunscreen, you're in trouble.
Or you'll be paying $15 out there.
Get you every time.
Store.
Get you every time. So yeah, plan as far ahead in advance as you can. If you can't, hey, well, do with what you got and try to assemble some stuff. And if it turns out good, please share with us. Let us know.
Yeah.
What worked or again maybe what didn't. So what about you? Any words of advice?
No, I appreciate you all listening. If you like, please subscribe. Hit that rating button. Give us a good rating, hopefully. And just let us know. Give us some feedback.
Yeah.
How it's going. We're 3 episodes in now. We hope you're enjoying the conversations that we're having, and we hope to have a lot more of these. So, Ben, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you too, man. Here's
cheers.
To it. Yeah, thanks everyone for listening. We'll talk again next week.
Yeah, cheers.